Good afternoon, folks, and here we have some stories on the Joker movie, which is coming out, I believe, tomorrow, and it's about the director, Todd Phillips, and he's talking about how woke culture for comedies are not working anymore. Now, he previously made a post or a tweet about how cancel culture was causing the Joker movie to have such low reviews, depending on when it premiered or where it premiered in the world, and it's pretty much has gone through all the summertime movie places. I think TIFF was probably the latest, but it was pretty low. Now it's roughly about 70%. So anything that's above 60% on Rotten Tomatoes is considered fresh. Anything below 60 is considered rotten. So obviously, that's 280 reviews from critics before a movie has even been released. That's pretty high. So it's obviously people are looking for this and trying to go, wow, this is a very important or interesting movie. I think the trailer sort of got our eye, and it's unique in that regard. Now, I don't know much about Todd. I don't know about his other movies, Road Trip, Old School, The Hangover. I don't know these, so I'm not an expert on movies. I'm not an expert with Todd. But here's what he has to say about woke culture. Go try to be funny nowadays with this woke culture. There are articles written about why comedies don't work anymore. I'll tell you why, because all the effing funny guys are like, F this shit, because I don't want to offend you. It's hard to argue with 30 million people on Twitter. You just can't do it, right? So you just go, I'm out, and you know what? With all my comedies, I think that what comedies in general all have in common is they're irreverent. So I go, how do I do something irreverent but F comedy? Oh, I know. Let's take the comic book movie universe and turn it on its head with this. And so that's really where that came from. So you could say, hey, this guy got fed up with woke culture or cancel culture or whatever you want to call the process of not listening to people who try to get you deplatformed or who you might have said something about 10, 20 years ago on Twitter or whatever social media, and now you're getting boycotted. And they took a character like Joker and made him a believable person. Now, there's other versions of Joker in comics where he's made believable. He starts off as a gangster, or he loses his wife, etc. So there's all sorts of ways that Joker was depicted in comics that made him more believable and thus more likable, and why he's always considered the number one villain or arch nemesis of Batman. So comedies can't be good anymore, so he decided to make a Joker movie. Perhaps he wasn't seeing films like Game Night, Sorry to Bother You, Booksmart, Blockers, Girls Trip, Popstar, Good Boys, or any number of the hilarious, irreverent, R-rated comedies released in the past half decade or so. And I don't know exactly why he stopped or why he wasn't pursuing such things. I know a lot of comedians have not been as relevant, but that doesn't necessarily stop comedians from trying to be funny. And a little bit of social media probably won't stop the professionals from doing what they're doing. Now, maybe they're really good and they don't care, or maybe they just try harder. I don't know. I don't know what it takes to be a comedian. It's obviously a lot different than making movies. Comedies still exist, and there's no denying that they can push boundaries and still be accepted by the masses. Maybe Phillips just didn't appreciate the bashing of the less than desirable Hangover sequels, and Joker his response. Who knows? Either way, he came back and he produced a movie, and we're going to evaluate it. I think it opens tomorrow to see how good it is. So good that it's opening up. Got at least 70%. We're going to see why. But the idea or the message of the story, at least I can grasp from Joker, listening about the trailer or trying to understand the trailer, is that the character figures out that his life isn't a tragedy, it's a comedy. And you can take those two genres and play around with them quite a lot. I don't know exactly in what capacity, though, because you're talking about making a movie a comedy or making a movie a tragedy or vice versa. And you can see a lot of, let's say, stories from Shakespeare, like Macbeth or Hamlet. Hamlet's probably a better example, where you have a character who is technically mad and also playing mad, all for the sake of revenge. And then you have another character in that story, like Ophelia, who becomes mad as a result of this person's behavior. So you can take concepts like that and just play them out as a comedy when that point in the story comes. And that could be the climax. That could just be a plot point. It doesn't really matter. Imagine Hamlet just saying, you know what? I'm going to get my revenge come hell or high water. I'm going to play along. And this is all a joke to me. My life is forfeit. I'm going to eliminate my uncle, etc., etc. And the plot of the movie will be fine. You can make the last half or the last quarter of Hamlet be a comedy. You could totally do that. It could work. It's a bit of a tone change, but the tragedy is still there. And that's kind of, I bet, what's happening with Joker is that, yeah, we can relate to this guy because we've seen his harsh conditions and what he is a product of his environment as a result of society sort of throwing him to the side. And he just says, to hell with it. I'm just going to enjoy myself. This is all a joke to me. And whatever life of crime he jumps into. We can do that with even a comedy. We can go from comedy to tragedy. So take, I'm trying to think of Midsummer Night's Dream, where it's a romantic comedy, essentially, where we have the two male leads, I believe, and the potion or the spell is cast upon them, and then they end up loving the one woman, and the other woman is just thrown to the side. That woman could have played it up for laughs. So this is all one big joke. Love is a game, and I'm at the whim of higher powers like this this elven fairy or this fairy goddess who just throws love potions and spells on people that I don't have any control over. So the concept of having genres or one genre that combines into another genre or bridges into another genre is rather fascinating. And it takes a certain degree of skill in writing and drama to pull that off. And when you have a character, when it's only one character, like the Joker or whoever his name is in this story, it is possible. And it is famous enough, or this character is famous enough in Batman lore for the audience to go, oh, we know the Joker. How am I going to relate to the Joker even more? What would I care about? He's just a crazy lunatic who's just going around for the hell of it? Or is he actually a man, a person who has really bad luck, has really bad problems, and he decides to turn it into something less painful? And you can even appreciate what he's going through, even if he is destructive and violent and criminal, because of his humanity, because of the choice to choose comedy, to choose this either sarcastic tone or this nihilistic tone, whatever the tone might be, and he chooses a more pleasant experience, even if that is at the expense of his sanity or at the expense of the law. And that's, I think that's what Joker is ultimately about. It's about his humanity as being this guy who is playing this deadly game with Batman at every turn, and Batman, being Batman, says, hey, you know what, I'm not going to kill you, I'm trying to help you. And there's that constant battle of Batman trying to save Joker and Joker constantly trying to push Batman to the edge. Obviously, I don't think Batman is in this story. It's all about the idea of Joker and his origin story. So that's fine. But I thought that was an interesting segue from cancel culture or the woke culture and one director's experience to actually make good art as a result of this problem and not giving up and producing a product or a story, at least, that people want to read about. They want to hear, they want to see, and I think that's great. So thanks, guys, for listening. Have yourself a great day.